Welcome to Omni View, episode 65 from May 30th, 2026. Multiple perspectives, one briefing. Let's look at the day's news from every angle. Escalating drone exchanges between Ukraine and Russia are disrupting energy supplies and raising risks for civilians on both sides of the border. Ukrainian drones struck a Russian oil facility in the latest round of attacks. Russian strikes left thousands without power in Zaporizhzhia, with both sides continuing to target energy infrastructure and residential zones. Reports confirm direct effects on local services in the impacted areas. Ukrainian sources present these actions as necessary responses to prior Russian targeting of civilian energy supplies. Russian accounts describe the moves as defensive steps against incursions on sovereign territory. International observers point out that both sides accept the pattern of reciprocal strikes while disagreeing on what counts as escalation. One question worth weighing is what evidence separates military targets from civilian ones in these ongoing exchanges. Shifting now to Malta, voters there are casting ballots in a snap parliamentary election called amid debates over housing costs and infrastructure. Polls show the governing Labour Party positioned to secure another term, with results expected shortly after polls close. The governing party highlights its record of economic stability and social programs. Opposition voices stress concerns about rapid development and rising living costs. European partners are watching for signals on Malta's alignment during regional tensions. To better grasp how such elections unfold, most coverage treats snap votes as simple popularity tests, yet the decision follows specific constitutional rules that vary by country. In Malta, the Prime Minister can advise the President to dissolve Parliament when the government believes it holds an advantage or needs a fresh mandate on issues like housing. This mechanism lets the ruling party choose timing that maximizes its prospects, while opposition parties respond within a compressed campaign window. When claims arise that an election was called purely for democratic renewal, it helps to check whether the timing aligns with polling data or external pressures instead. Next time a headline appears about a snap vote, consider who benefits from the chosen date and what a constitutional threshold must be met. Meanwhile, the White House has released the results of President Trump's annual physical examination. The report describes him as fully fit for duties, following ongoing public discussion about his health. Supporters view the disclosure as adequate reassurance about capacity for the role. Critics call for more detailed data to address lingering questions. Medical professionals note that standard presidential checkups balance privacy with transparency requirements. A question to consider is what level of medical information has historically been shared about sitting presidents. Turning to alliance matters, the chair of NATO's military committee stated that cooperation with the Pentagon remains steady and without major friction. The remarks came during a regional security dialogue in Asia, where European members have increased defense spending in recent periods. Alliance officials emphasize continuity in operational coordination. Some European governments point to their spending increases as evidence of responsiveness. U.S. voices continue to stress the importance of equitable contributions from all members. One point to examine is how public statements from military leaders differ from political messaging on alliance issues. Next, members of Congress have reaffirmed support for Taiwan after earlier comments by President Trump that described arms sales as a potential negotiating point with China. Approved sales total around $14 billion, and the statements aim to clarify the legislative position. Congressional supporters frame the reaffirmation as consistent with long-term policy. Administration officials treat the sales within broader diplomatic calculations. Taiwanese authorities are monitoring the exchange for signs of continuity. A question worth asking is how congressional actions interact with executive branch diplomacy on arms issues. In another development, Rwanda has concluded a deal with Russia for nuclear training and research programs. The agreement supports Rwanda's goals in technology development and healthcare applications. Rwandan officials present the deal as advancing national development priorities. Russian sources highlight expanding technical cooperation across the continent. Non-proliferation groups raise questions about oversight and long-term implications. One issue to weigh is what safeguards typically accompany nuclear cooperation agreements. France reports that its GDP contracted in the latest period, driven by falling exports and reduced household spending. Global factors, including trade tensions and regional conflicts, are cited as contributors. Government statements point to external shocks as primary causes. Business groups call for measures to support domestic demand. Economists examine whether the decline signals a broader slowdown. A question to consider is how quickly export sectors can adjust to shifting global demand. Before we go, tomorrow watch for final results from the Malta election and any early signals on how the outcome may affect European alignments. That's OmniView. For full source links and more context, check out today's written briefing on the OmniView summaries page. As always, compare outlets, look for primary documents, and separate what's known from what's assumed. If balanced perspectives are valuable to you, share this with a friend and subscribe wherever you listen. See you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.